Hello, and welcome to a new episode with your host, Vinney Chopra. I'm so excited to have you here as we dive deep into the world of real estate investing, syndications, abundance mindset, and building generational wealth. We are excited to be in the top 1.5% of the real estate podcasts. Got number 11 actually out of top 50 real estate syndication podcasts. Thanks to you. Each episode, we bring powerful insights, expert guests, and actionable strategies to help you take your investing game to the next level. Whether you are a seasoned investor or just getting started, if you love what you hear, please take a moment to subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and follow me on social media so that we can never miss an episode. Your support helps us continue sharing valuable content with more people like you. Now let's jump into today's episode. Thank you. Hi there guys, Vinney Chopra back again. I've got a great guest. Dave Dubeau is here. And you know what? You're in for a big treat. Lots of my students, lots of my followers, they are trying to raise money from accredited investors. Do you know there are 24 million accredited investors in the United States alone? So do you have 20 or 40 or 100 or 582 like me who have given me $220 million so far? So you're in for a big brother, Dave. Thank you so much for joining. And let's give all the gold nuggets because your superpower is to have a podcast.
Yeah.
You know, how to be number 4 or number 11, like the one I have over here. So give us all the best why one should have a branding and a podcast to attract accredited and other investors.
Well, thanks very much for having me on your show, Vinney. It's an absolute honor and a pleasure, especially being on a top ranked show like yourself. Yeah. So a podcast, I've been running mine, Property Profits Real Estate Podcast, which I had the pleasure of having you on recently. That's been going since 2018, which in podcast years is a long time. But I kind of did everything wrong, Vinney, because I wasn't as smart as you are. So when I started my first podcast, I kind of looked at what all the other real estate guys were doing, and they're starting a podcast and they're, trying to grow a huge audience and trying to interview all of the gurus, the Kiyosaki's and the Grant Cardones and the Vinney Chopras of the world. And, that was the goal, and hoping to, that some of those people in the audience would clue in and kind of connect with them and end up doing business or investing or what have you. So that's what I tried for a few years, and it was okay. I had like a weekly show where I get lazy and it'd be twice a month, and I'd forget here and there and all this kind of stuff. So it was pretty hit and miss. It wasn't really working for me for a lead generator for my business. And then about 3-4 years ago now, I was listening to another podcast, and this young smart punk said something that just stuck in my head. Young guy was a very smart young guy named Jamie Atkinson. And he said, you know what? I'm not with my podcast. I really don't care so much about audience growth like everybody else is doing. What I've done is I flipped the whole thing on its head, and I focus 100% on interviewing my ideal client prospect, my ideal customer. That's who I want to interview on my show. Instead of doing a weekly show, I will do a whole bunch of interviews every single week to make these connections, to attract these people to me, to provide value first, lead with a giving hand by featuring them on my show, and convert some of those interviews into conversations about doing business together. And I heard that, and the light bulb went off in my head, Vinney. And I said, that is brilliant. So I just switched everything, and I started interviewing my ideal avatar, which in my case happened to be real estate capital raisers. And then I went from doing one show a week to, I got a little bit crazy with this, Vinney. At one point, I was doing 25 to 30 interviews a week. Don't do that, boys and girls. That's too much, right? But these days I've kicked it down. So I'm doing an average of 10 to 12 interviews a week. And for the last year and a half, we've been, because this is working so well for me, for my marketing agency, working with capital raisers to help them connect with accredited investors. It's been working so well for me. I thought, why don't I create this as kind of a turnkey done for you service for other
Sure.
syndicators and fund managers and people who want to
Mhm.
connect with high income, high net worth, those 24 million accredited investors you're talking with. So that's what
Yes.
we do.
I love it. This is so amazing because lots of my university students or the people I coach one-on-one or group coaching like that, or they buy my course online, they want to get better. Sometimes the fright is that, am I good in doing a podcast? I've heard that you just pick up a microphone and talk into it. You can really give value if you have learned some good nuggets. People would listen to you if you give them value for free. And that's
Right.
how it's all about. So please share, how do people start? I mean, what would you say if there are newbies, they want to start a podcast? And it's so funny, yesterday, Danny and Marisa, I'll give accolades to them. They came into my group coaching. Soon, right away, they said, Vinney, we want one-on-one coaching. I said, great. Now in 3.5 years, they started from zero. They have $45 million portfolio, they told me
Wow.
yesterday.
Yeah.
And
that's
they
awesome.
interviewed me as one of their coach and mentor, and they had a very good setup for their podcast. So please share with us, how can some new people can get started? Hi friends, this is Vinney Chopra from here in Danville, California. And you might be saying, hey Vinney, what are these over here? I wrote this book a few years back. Apartment Syndication Made Easy. It became top seller. I came from India with $7 in my pocket. It says 500 million. It's going to be 1 billion very soon, very soon. I'm right at about 850, 900 million. And then I'm ready for the next billion. Actually, you will see that happening. 2 billion in this book also. The other book I wrote, which has been a very big positivity, has been my life. Always, I've been married 43 years with 2 children, and the beauty is to be positive, the mindset that can take you to all the places in the world. And that's the book that also became big seller. My third book, Senior Assisted Living, is coming. So do yourself a favor, go ahead and click the link below to get free copies, audio copies of these books, even printed copies of these books. Printed means digital, if you can't afford it. But I would highly recommend for you to get these, or go to Amazon.com. Just go to Amazon. I got it in soft cover, in hardcover, in Kindle, in audio, also the Spanish version of this book also. So let's crush it, guys. I know you can be successful. I know you can do the kind of things that you want to do in life and have the streams of income and know how to really, educate yourself so that you could become a strong force in this world in real estate. I know you can. So take that step. Don't just be on the sideline. Take charge of your life. Take charge of your education. Yeah.
So it's a little bit of a different thought process here. So Vinney, you've cracked the code on creating a podcast that has a huge audience and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's very difficult for newer people to crack that code. They don't have the experience, they don't have the connections, they don't have the network that you have, right? So what I recommend is that for your first podcast, if you want to use a podcast as a money maker, as a capital raising mechanism, then the first job is to really get laser focused on who is your ideal investor avatar. So I'll give you an example, Vinney.
Yes.
I'm working with a doctor, Dr. Tudor Franco. He is a medical doctor and a syndicator. So guess who he really resonates with? Other medical professionals, right? So we created a podcast for Dr. Franco that has nothing to do with real estate. It has nothing to do with syndications. This is where it's a little bit counterintuitive. It's called Stellar Success Leveling Up for Medical Pros. And what we do, we built that show, and it appeals to his ideal avatar. Number one, to be a guest on the show. That's our number one focus. And number two, to be a listener to that show, because most medical professionals, no offense, they don't care about real estate. They don't care about syndications.
Totally.
They care about their own success, right? So why not meet them where they're at? So we built the show all around that. Then the second job is to find guests for the show. So obviously he's looking for medical professionals. So my team and I, we go out and we find these folks, doctors, anesthesiologists, dentists, etc., and we invite them to be a guest on Two Doors Show. And the reason they love being a guest on the show is because it's all about them. We lead with the giving hand. We say, hey, we'd love to have you as a guest on our show. We think you're doing great things. We'd like to talk with you about your professional success, your personal success, financial success. We'd like to really feature you on the show. And this is a great platform for you to get some free marketing exposure, free advertising, basically. So they love that. They book in on the show. Two-Door interviews them. It really is mostly about them. He's not talking about his deals or his syndications or how smart he is. It really is all about the guest. And then that creates instant rapport. That creates instant relationship. That shortcuts the know, like, and trust factor. And it also creates reciprocity. So here's the magic in this, Vinney. During the interview, Dr. Frank, who's talking with them, and he's saying, you know, what's professional success? They talk about that. How do you integrate your personal success with that? Then he starts to talk about financial success. So let's pretend, Vinney, that you are a medical professional. You know, you're a doctor. You're Dr. Vinney. All right. So we get to that, and I say, Dr. Vinney, sounds like things are going really, really well with your practice. Now, a lot of successful doctors in your position, they're making really good income right now, but they're working hard for it. And they're looking towards the future. They want to keep that income high, but they don't want to work so hard for their income. They're looking for sources of revenue or income outside of their work. What are your thoughts about that? Right. So we don't try to ram real estate down their throat in the interview. Just kind of get them to open up about that. And then here's where the magic happens, Vinney. So at the end of the interview, we stop the recording, but you're still on Zoom with the other person. He circles around. He says, hey, Dr. Vinney, that was a great interview. Congratulations on your practice. Now, you mentioned that you're dabbling a little bit in stocks and bonds to create some outside income. Well, let me ask you this. How do you feel about the kind of returns you're getting with those investments, the security and the stability that you have with that? Is that something that you're 100% happy with, or is there maybe a little room for improvement?
Oh my gosh.
There's always room.
There is always room.
And then what he's going to say is, okay, well, Dr. Vinney, that's really interesting. We're doing something very cool with other doctors, busy doctors, just like yourself, in the apartment building space. And what we're doing there is we're getting them very solid, steady Eddie, sometimes double-digit returns on their money. At the same time, quite often we can save them a chunk of money on their taxes as well. That's something you might be interested in taking a look at. Boom. Then you get them booked into a follow-up discovery call, which is where you walk them through a very good, simple presentation on what you're up to with real estate, and then get them to do a soft commitment or get them plugged into your follow-up sequences, right? So that's kind of the magic of the whole process.
I love this. I love it. The whole way to really build the business is to look into from the eyes of our avatar, like you said, doctors, attorneys, CPAs, business, IT engineers, like in my avatars. So it's so important to really feature. So that interview is 20 minutes maybe, right? Or something.
Yeah, it's fairly short and sweet because everybody's busy, right, Vinney? I mean, you've got tons of syndicator students and clients. So you know that these guys, they're busy managing their portfolio, looking at deals, underwriting deals, talking with investors, all of that stuff. So what we try to do is make this as seamless as possible. So our clients, basically, they take 2 hours twice a week. They block that out for interview time. So kind of like what you do with because you've got multiple different shows that you're doing. You just kind of block that out. I'm going to be doing these interviews at these times. And then my team and I, we go out and we get them those interviews booked on Zoom back to back. So they're doing 2 or 3 in a row, a couple of days a week. They're averaging 5 of them a week. That's 20 a month. Imagine meeting 20 hyper-focused, qualified people every single month. That's the magic.
I love that. That's amazing. And you multiply by 12, brother, you're looking at 250. And the beauty is if we serve them well and teach them and educate them is the word, I find then they will come back. They may not be ready to invest right away, but they'll be ready when you do have a deal and you tell them this is what we are focusing on, or ask them too if they would like multifamily or hotels or senior living or car washes or right, So
Well, exactly. And then
if I
you
may
follow your brilliant example that you talked about with in my show, right? So we want to be strategic here. So the first goal is
totally.
get them booked in on the interview. Second goal
Yeah.
is have a pleasant interview where you create that rapport, that relationship,
Yep.
create that curiosity
Mhm.
about what you're up to. The next goal is get them on a discovery call, right? Now, the goal of the
Yes.
discovery call
Totally.
isn't to get them to cut you $100,000 check today.
No.
That's not
No.
realistic. But take your
No.
smart advice, record that discovery call, right? Give them a
Yes.
copy of that recording as well so they can refer back to it. But
Yes.
here's what I tell my clients, Vinney, and let me know what you thought about this is,
Hmm.
right? We don't want to be coming on too strong in the first discovery
Yes.
call.
We
But
cannot.
yeah, you
No.
can't. You're going to scare them off.
No.
But here's what I recommend. I'd love your input on this. I recommend we try and get a soft commitment or a warm commitment. I call it a warm
Hmm.
commitment, actually. For example,
Hmm.
let's just play the role again. You're Dr. Vinney, and
Sure.
I've just walked you through my presentation, big broad strokes about syndication or apartments or whatever you're investing in, assisted living facilities, hotels, all that kind of good stuff.
Sure.
Kind of walk them through that. And then at the end, I just want to take their pulse and I very softly say, so, Dr. Vinney, it looks like this is kind of interesting for you. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah,
Okay,
sure. No, I would like to know more about it. I would love
perfect.
to rearrange some monies and maybe even my retirement funds, which, we could put them into some other avenues like real estate.
Yeah, well, I wish they were all that easy. But let's say they
So
were being a
true.
little bit, yeah, this it looks pretty interesting. Then I'd say something like, well,
Yeah.
Dr. Vinney, would you like to be added to my VIP investor list so that you get first eyes on
Yes.
any opportunities that come down the pipeline? You get first dibs on them. Would you like to be added to that list?
Oh, totally, totally,
Okay,
totally.
perfect.
And Dave, we say Monil
There you
Elite
go.
Investors Club. That's what it
Beautiful.
is.
That
I've
kind.
heard 5,829 as of last, because I use Go High Level. So
Yeah.
I have monilmedia.ai is the company, which
Mhm.
is, I'm also marketing that company too, but it's a Go High Level at its
Yeah.
core. And it's got all the
Oh,
integrations
it's
and
crazy. Yeah, we use
funnels. And
GoHighLevel as
while
well
I'm
for our clients.
sleeping, people are coming into the
Yeah.
funnel. Yeah.
So anyhow, we ask them if they want to be added to our VIP list. They say yes. We say, okay, cool. Let's just go through a little bit of information here to get you added to the list. And then you walk through
Yeah.
them, your client kind of
Ah,
questionnaire, make sure that they're a
yeah.
credit investor. If we find a deal that fits your criteria, how much do you feel comfortable investing? 75, 100, $250,000,
Yep.
whatever. Where would the capital
Yep.
be coming from? What's your time frame?
Yep.
All of those questions, get that all filled out right there. And then now you're
Hmm.
good to go. And then now you got them in the system and you're smart because you got the GoHighLevel thing going. So you drip out some
Yeah.
education to them over the next few
Yes.
weeks. Then you
Yep.
circle back in a few weeks,
Yep.
especially if you got a deal on the go and say, hey, Dr. Vinney, you asked me to reach out when I've got a good deal that might be a good fit for you. I think I've got
Yes.
one that might be right up your alley. Would you like to take a look at it with me? Boom. Then that's where you do the full presentation.
This is amazing, David, brother. I totally see that. Why you are such a great professional and why you're attracting great syndicators and fund managers like me and others to be able to do the work. Of course, it's ROI on
Yeah.
time, ROI on investment. I'll tell my audience, as you're watching this, please look into and how can people reach you, Dave, because this is amazing, what you shared, and people are spending thousands of dollars to get one,
Yeah.
investor. But I think in your systematic approach, it's a very good approach. I love it.
Oh,
So
thank you very
please
much.
share, how can people reach you?
Well, there's a couple of choices. I know you've got a big audience of active real estate investors and syndicators. In which case,
Yes.
number one thing I'd like to offer, I'd love to have you as a guest on my show. And you can either check me out on LinkedIn. I'm the Dave Dubeau with the love to have you as a guest on my show banner. Or you can check out
Sure.
our website, daveinterviewsyou.com.
Yes. Yep.
If you're interested in this whole podcast investor pipeline idea, then I've written a book. I'm not quite as prolific
Oh.
as you are, Vinny, but I've got a book. It's
No,
called
no.
how to get 20 accredited investor meetings every month without cold calling, networking, or chasing people. If you want a copy of the book, you can get a free one. And it's at 20accreditedinvestorsbook.com. Again, the number 20 accredited investors.
Love it. I think it's such a great episode, and thank you for sharing, great nuggets. Hey guys, if you like this episode, please give 5-star reviews on Apple and Stitcher. As you know, we are moving higher and higher thanks to you for your liking the content. And my team is pulling out now one episode every day from my Abundance Mindset show, from Vinney and Dave show, my interviews, and my master coaching every week. On Wednesdays, 1.5 hour. So you're getting lots of great free content. I hope you're liking it. Thank you so much, and see you very soon in the next episode. Dear friends, this is Vinney Chopra. I am so glad you're listening to the episode. Thanks so much. Really appreciate that. Please share it with others who can really benefit also. Can I ask you a favor? Just a small favor. Less than a minute, if you could give 5-star reviews on iTunes or Stitcher, that'll go a long way. We are one of the top podcasts in real estate now in the nation, but it will really help a lot if you gave 5-star reviews, and we'll bring a lot more great content for you. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, and see you in the next episode. God bless you. Bye-bye. Wow, what an incredible conversation today. I hope you got tons of value from this episode. If you did, don't forget to subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and follow me on social media to stay updated on all the things real estate, investing, abundance mindset, and wealth creation. If you're an accredited investor looking for exclusive investment opportunities, be sure to join our elite Monil Investors Club at vinneychopra.com/invest, where we share details of our future projects. Quick disclaimer, we are not selling any securities, and this podcast is strictly for educational and information purposes only. The opinions shared by our guests are their own and should not be considered financial or investment advice. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a financial professional before making any investment decisions. Thank you again for tuning in. Until next time, keep smiling, keep investing, and keep making a massive impact. God bless you.
Be sure to listen to Mr. Smiles next week with more golden nuggets and top-notch coaching tips. You can reach him by going to vinneychopra.com. Be sure to like, comment, and share to show everyone how Mr. Smiles has brought your apartment syndication business to the next level.